You guys, welcome back to Kai Veil channel. Hope all is well. Today's Sunday, started a new week. But then when it comes to people using their PTO on the job, more and more people are using it now. Not just to take vacation, but to take a mental rest. Let's go into the story. Shout out to ABC News. Let's go.
PTO to sleep rather than go on vacation. AmeriSleep surveyed 1,000 Americans. 57% say they've taken PTO or a sick day in the last year to specifically lay in bed and rot, meaning they do not.
Yeah, sit around and waste. And see, this video, it doesn't refer to single people or married people with children. That's the issue with this video, but let's continue.
Nothing. I mean, probably scroll on their phone, but basically nothing. 33% say they've taken multiple days off just to rest in the last year. Joelle Crawford joins us now. She is the author of Show Your Ask, Using Your Voice to Advocate for Yourself and Your Career. Thank you for joining us. So 53% of Americans feel guilty for doing this. Should they?
No.
They shouldn't. That's a huge red flag. If you're taking paid time off to rest instead of, that's a red flag for burnout. When we're too exhausted to even plan a vacation,
Yeah, that's all
it's a
bad.
signal that we are in a workplace culture that is business over balance, and rest should be proactive and not the last resort.
And a lot of people have sleeping issues, sleep apnea, whatever. People are stressed out from their jobs, burned out, and it causes mental issues as well. And it also causes addiction abuse too. Alcohol, smoking weed, other recreational drugs. It's all related. So if you're not getting proper sleep, then it's going to be a problem if you're participating in hustle culture. You're just going to burn out. You're just going to fold.
So I'm also thinking about social media, because when we're not working, many of us are at home on social media, scrolling Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. It feels like that's mentally tolling as well. Do you think social media is another added element in this right now?
It can be. I mean, I am a card carrying, like, social media addict. My husband said if I just had a like button, I would love him more.
What the hell? If there's a like button, I'll love you more. So basically, you're miserable. If you're so busy that you can't focus on family, that's not a good thing. And not just family, your mate. So if you're participating in hustle culture and you're married, that's a doomed marriage right there.
And that's sad. That's really, so it's really important to give ourselves some breaks from social media. That can really end, you can end up scrolling yourself into a dismal situation. So putting some controls on that. There are self that you can use to monitor and with, kind of take a little step back from being on the screen so much.
So the survey also finds that Gen Z is most likely to cancel plans in part because of anxiety, lack of motivation, and procrastination.
I mean, Gen Z is like that in general, and half of millennials as well. This is flake culture as well, too. Most people flake on their plans because either last minute they changed their mind. It wasn't because they got busy or something came up. A lot of times, they just don't want to be bothered or just don't have the energy or just didn't feel like it. In the meantime, while they flaked on the plans, they're just at home watching TV. People aren't as busy as they say they are. We call it fake busy. Fake busy. They're not that busy. They just didn't want to be bothered. Or at least they just didn't want to be seen with you.
Why do you think there's this generational difference?
Well, you know what? I gotta clarify something. Gen Z isn't lazy. They're just literate in self-preservation.
Oh.
Well, know this. The most money you're going to make in your life is when you're in this position, sleep. Whether you have an online business or maybe you're a content creator. But the most money, or at least the most productive money you're going to make is when you're asleep and not on somebody else's time clock.
They know what's going on. They are rejecting that hustle culture that we've kind of subscribed to and taking those bed rotting days because traditional models of work and rest haven't been working for them. But rest without restoration can easily turn into avoidance. tension, it can turn into some really unhealthy boundaries. So they really know how to, they get it. They really know how to pair intentionality with boundaries. So we could definitely.
Like I said, they're not showing examples of family. So I think they're talking about solo people, people that live on their own, one bedroom apartment, high rise flat, whatever. But if you add in family with that, that's just extra burnout because that's other things they have to focus on outside of work. So if you have a family, you're married, you have children, you'll never get a day off if you're a parent.
Take a page from their book.
I think I'm going to steal that from you. When somebody asks me, am I tired? I'm going to say, no, I'm illiterate in self-preservation. So thank you for that one. One final thing here. At what point does laying in bed just become too much? Like, when is it just way too much?
I think there's something about resting. Everyone needs rest, but I think what we need to do is make sure that we use PTO as permission to optimize. Use that time to reflect and reset. Ask yourself, what's one boundary that I can set? What's one routine that I can soften? What's one thing that I can do to release? Sometimes
I'll just call it a mental vacation because a lot of people are doing too much, they're working too much, they're overworked, they're underpaid. But at the same time, if you have bad, shitty health, the money's not going to do you no good. And as you're working all this time, you're just building somebody else's dream and you didn't build nothing for yourself in the meantime. So really, it's a waste of time. But a lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of people don't like to touch their PTO because for whatever reason, they think that it's a badge of honor not to use any PTO time or call off sick. But I'm like, they don't care about you. They're laying people off all the time. So once they lay you off, you're not going to be honored for never calling off. Like, nobody really cares. It's like they just want to fill the spot with the body.
healthiest vacation from over
Wow.
committing and not from leaving your city or your town.
PTO, permission to optimize, and then illiterate in self-preservation. Joyelle, just hitting us with bangers today on the Saturday. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so it's like hopefully people will lighten up and not be so afraid of their employers because they don't care about you. And more people are staying away from workplace events outside of the office, which is smart. Because think about it. Once all those people are laid off, you're probably not going to hear from them no more. So they're cool with you for the time being. But when everybody moves on, you're probably not going to talk to those people anymore. This is Kai DeVale. I hope you learned something. I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.